Well, let's come down to laying down on your back on the mat. So welcome to our Yoga for Runners today. We are going to be working on two opposites, two yins and yangs, the opposites being strength and flexibility. But we'll start laying on our backs just to kind of check in. Make sure you can see me. Yep. Maybe start with your knees bent and your feet on the mat. Maybe take the feet a little wider so your knees can touch and kind of take a bit of pressure off your back. There we go. Teresa's in. Good. And take the palms of your hands and lay them on your front ribs. And begin to breathe into your hands. So breathing deeply such that you feel the ribs and the belly expand on the inhale. And then feel the contraction, the coiling back on the exhale. Just take a few deep breaths, just really focusing on your heart center, the action of the breath. And tuning into this powerful process that we have in our bodies that keeps us alive, but is just so full of potential in terms of helping us and healing us by breathing deeply, drawing in the nutrition we need on the inhale, drawing in positivity as well. And on the exhale, letting go of all the used up stuff and all the stuff that we carry around that we don't need to. Now change your breathing, just staying with that equal turning breath, but add ujjayi texture. So this is just a constriction in the back of the throat, like when you fog your glasses to clean them. So if it's new to you, find it on the exhale first. It's like a sigh, a little vibration in the back of the throat. And then add it to the inhale if you can. And keep going with that breath. It's also sometimes called ocean breath. You're going to take the palms of the hands now and cup your ears and keep going with your ujjayi breath, but you'll hear it like the waves of the ocean. Good, and then just release your hands, let your breath settle. And take your legs straight down on the mat, and we'll take the arms up overhead. And just take a few big breaths here, stretching long, so stretching out with your feet, stretching out with your hands, maybe wiggling a little side to side, getting into the hips, shoulders. And if you've got space, open yourself up into starfish, so legs wider and arms wider. And continue to explore. I'm initially probably feeling lots of areas that are enjoying a stretch, getting some length back, taking some tension out of your body, but also just appreciating your body and the strength that it has. Everything that it does for us silently, just working away in the background. Even if we do have aches and pains and things that are going on, for the most part, our bodies are amazingly healthy, give us so much potential and so much strength. So let's draw the knees back in now and hug your knees and wrap your hands around your legs, rock on your back. And just hugging yourself. And then finding this pair of opposites, we'll inhale and open back up into starfish. Stretch long and then exhale and draw everything back in, hugging your legs. Inhale, expand again. Exhale, hug the knees in. And one more time, inhale, opening up as long and as tall as you can be. And then exhale and draw yourself into that little ball again. And then we'll put our feet down on the mat, feet about hip width apart and feet pretty close to your hips. And maybe reach down, see if you can touch your heels with your fingers. It's okay if you can't reach, it's all right. Lift your toes up, lift the balls of the feet up off the mat and spread out your toes. And then one bit at a time, start to plant your feet down. So feel the side of the arch pressing down, feel the ball of the foot pressing down, and feel each toe pushing down into the mat. And then continue to keep all that contact, that bond of your feet on the mat, and start to roll the hips up into bridge. So very strongly pushing into every part of your foot, each foot, and lengthening into the front of the hips. And just had a little wiggle, shifting your hips side to side, feeling some opening work and also feeling some strengthening work. It's an interesting pose because we're doing both at the same time. We're lengthening into the hips while we contract the quads and fire up the hamstrings. Add the arms now, just lifting your arms straight up towards the ceiling, palms facing each other, and continue to play with this pose, just shifting your weight from one foot to the other. Keep lengthening up the hips, pushing out with the knees. Just a little shimmy in the hips. Okay, then bring it all down one vertebra at a time. Backward pelvic tilt, let the arms come down too. And then we'll move the, the left foot into the middle of the mat and take your right leg straight up. Now really find a stretch sensation in your right leg. So we're finding the flexibility here in that right leg. Foot is pulled towards the shin. Arms down by your sides. We're going to lift up into the one-legged bridge and try to keep your pelvis from pivoting or shaking. So slowly come up, push up with your right foot, and feel the strength that you're building in the left leg. So flexibility in the right, strength in the left. And again, maybe add the lift of the arms and find your balance here, kind of balancing on your left foot and your right shoulder. One more breath here, really pushing up with that right foot. And then exhale and articulate down and bring the right foot down. Good, and let's put the right foot in the middle of the mat. You know what's coming now. And take your left leg up. Just lift the ball of your right foot off the mat for a moment. And again, plant the foot down one piece at a time, the toes down, really grabbing the mat with the toes. And then find the flexibility, the sense of stretch in the back of the left leg. So straighten the knee. And then slowly lift up into the one-legged bridge on this side, pushing down into the right foot, feeling the weight push into your left shoulder. Strongly pushing out with your left foot. Maybe lifting the arms and finding your balance here. Feeling the strength of that right leg and feeling the flexibility happening in the left. And balancing. And then slowly, slowly articulate down, release, bring both knees in and just let it go and let the sides come back together. And so let's find your belt or bathrobe tie or whatever it is you have today that you can use as a strap. And take the belt over your right foot and let the left leg go down on the mat. So your legs are pretty much at a right angle or a 90-degree angle with each other. Get the belt on the ball of that right foot and then just begin to really flex the right foot, pulling the toes down towards the shin. So you're feeling lots of sensation in the calf, the back of the leg. And add one more part to this, an isometric contraction, where you push out with the heel and try to lift the right leg a little out of the hip. Feel a little bit of weight come out of your right hip and really sparkling up the back of the leg. And then relax, let the knee bend, let the leg sit back in the hip. So let's inhale and push out strongly, taking weight out of the right hip, finding lots of connection in the back of the leg. And exhale and soften. One more time, just the right leg. Inhale, lengthening out. Feel everything sort of sparkle up on the back of the leg. And exhale and release. So when we're doing that, find it one more time, just so I can talk about this interesting combination. When we're pushing out with the heel and lifting the leg, you're feeling lots of stretch at the back of the leg, but notice that your quad is working. So you're strengthening your quad while you increase the flexibility in the back of the leg. Blindingly obvious to you, I'm sure, but I thought I'd point it out. So let's add this work to the left leg too. Okay, so keep working on the right, strongly pushing out, lifting out with the leg out of the hip, and the same thing on the left leg. So pushing out with that left foot and just taking weight out of the hip. And then exhale and soften. Inhale, engage again. So quads are firing and the backs of both legs are saying hello. And then exhale and release. And one more time. Inhale, engage, flex your feet, pull the toes towards the shins. And exhale and release. Good work. Now take both ends of your belt in your left hand, and we're going to really, really slowly come into a twist to the left. So really take your time. Bring your right leg just a little across till you feel your IT band and pause there. Okay, don't be tempted to go right over into the twist. Really find that connection from the side of your knee up into your hip. Big swath of fascia. And then we'll go a little further, just far enough until you feel it in your glutes, back of your hip. So again, not going into the full twist yet, just kind of dissecting each part. And I really feel my glutes talking to me, my IT band. Okay, so we found those two spots. Let's go the whole way over, whatever amount works for you, but rolling over onto your left hip, too close to the wall. And maybe open the right shoulder to the right. And finding lots of connection here into the back, into the shoulder. And we'll add the isometrics here too. So both legs, let's inhale and flex the feet, push out with the heels, and exhale and soften. You can let the knees bend. Inhale, go again, strong, strong legs. Exhale and release. One more time. Inhale, flexing the feet, pushing out, trying to take weight out of the hips. And exhale and release. Bring the right leg back up. Let's go to third angle or position. So take the right leg slowly out to the right now. Take the fingers of your left hand and let them rest on your left hip flexor. And taking the right leg about as far as it wants to go. And once you get it there, really give it some support by holding strongly onto your strap. So the leg is kind of in a passive stretch initially, just hanging from the hip. And then we'll add the isometrics here too. So inhale, strongly push out with your feet, pull the toes back. Exhale, release. And again, inhale, squeeze the thigh muscles as you lengthen into the back and the inner thigh on that right leg. And exhale and release. And one more time. Inhale, engage, hold, and exhale and release. Bring the right leg back up. Take your belt off and let both legs go down on the mat. So just both legs down. Just taking a pause. Focusing on your breath again. Give it one more breath and just see if you can soften a little more. All right, let's bring your left leg in and lay the belt over your left foot. And begin to focus on sensation in the back of the left leg. So flexing the foot, pushing out with the heel, straightening the knee. And then add the isometric. And it's not really a big movement, but it's just a real strong connection by pushing out with the heel, trying to lift the leg a little out of the hip. And then exhale and release it. Inhale, straighten again, flexing the foot, maybe spreading out the toes. And exhale and release. One more time, just the left leg. Inhale, engage. Everything working in the back and the front of the leg. And exhale and release. Okay, so let's keep adding that to the right leg as well. So inhale, flex both feet, push out with the heels, get the legs a little longer. And exhale and release. Two more times. Inhale, strongly pushing out. Really feel those quads working. Exhale, release. And again, inhale, strong legs. Exhale. Good. Now take your belt in your right hand and again, very, very slowly break this down coming into the twist. So just bring the left leg across till you feel the side of your thigh. And that's fascia, so it's different than when you stretch a muscle. When you stretch a muscle, it's kind of softer. When you stretch fascia, it's like electricity. It's like a real band of something tight. But it can give too. Just takes a little longer than muscles do. And then come a little further over till you feel your glutes. Those 3 layers of glutes in the back of your hip. And just notice how they're feeling today. Maybe bend the knee, straighten the knee here. Kind of sparkle that up. And then we'll go all the way over into the twist, whatever amount feels right for you. Opening the left arm out to the left. And add the isometrics to both legs. So inhale, flex the feet, push out with the heels, exhale, release. Inhale, engage, strong, strong legs, really feel everything contracting. And then exhale and release. Working both legs. Inhale, feel that work. And exhale and release. Good. Use your belt. Bring the left leg back up. Take the belts in your left hand and again, just slowly open out to the left, fingertips of the right hand resting on the right hip to keep it connected to the mat. And just going out to the left as far as feels right for you, feeling the sparkle at the inner thigh. And then 3 more rounds here of the isometrics. I'm too close to the wall again. Inhale, engage the legs, flex the feet. I really feel my hip flexor in my right leg here. Exhale and release. Inhale, engage, strongly pushing out with the heels. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, lengthening the legs, doing so much here, flexibility and strength. And exhale, and bring that leg back up. Take your belt off. And just pause with both legs down. Feel a little more symmetrical now, having done both sides. Good. And then let's find your blanket. And I'm going to turn on our right side in a fetal position. So we're going to have the blanket here to support your head. So double it up or triple it up so that you feel like you're getting enough support for your head. And just coming into your knees and your hips stacked, shoulders stacked. I'm going to reach down. So we're laying on our right side. So reach down with your left hand, find your left leg and thread the leg back behind you. And just really open into the front of that left leg now. So pull the foot back towards your hip, pushing the knee away, and then relax it. And you're pulling your left shoulder blade into your back, opening the chest a little bit as you open into that left hip flexor. And you might notice here too, when you're doing this, okay, getting some stretch and a lot of sensation in the front of your thigh, your quad, you're also contracting the hamstrings in the back of the leg. It's just the synergist muscle. It's the way they work. Good. Let's release it. Bring your knees back together. Stretch the arms out in front of you, the palms together. Take an in-breath and we'll lift the left arm up. And just turn your head and follow your hand. And then keep going, whatever amount, opening all the way over to the left. If you can, bring the arm down to the floor. If that's too far, maybe prop it with your towel or another blanket. And just find a very long line of connection in the left side of your body, maybe feeling a little bit of your IT band again, your hip, your ribs, your shoulder. Come back to your breathing. So just stay here for a little bit and breathe deeply in and out. Add the ujjayi texture to your breath. That sigh in the back of the throat on the exhale, kind of a gritty sensation on the inhale. And the next time you breathe in, we'll pick the left arm back up, make a big sweep in the air, and bring the palms of the hands together, sliding the heel of the left hand towards the fingertips of the right. Feel that nice opening in your back. Let's just move through this 2 more times. So inhale, open up with the left arm, all the way over to the left as you breathe out. Inhale, sweep it back up again. Exhale, slide the hands, see where you get to. And one more time. Inhale, opening up, big sweep. Exhale, releasing to the left. Inhale, back up again. And exhale and slide your hands. Good. Just bring your arms back into your body and we'll take a minute to change sides. Okay, so just turn over onto your left side now. All right, so get your hips and knees stacked. Reach down and find your right ankle and thread the right leg back. And again, just find that strong stretch sensation in the front of the thigh, in your hip flexor. And that pulsing, moving in and out of it. So we're not locking into position. We are working with our bodies, moving in and out of the sensation. And see if you can bring your foot a little closer to your hip. And then release, bring your knees back together, get everything stacked, reach the arms out in front of you with the palms together. Take an in-breath and follow your right hand. So just lift the arm up towards the ceiling. So turning your head, turning everything, taking the right arm all the way over to the right. And again, prop it up if you need to. And just pause here for a few breaths, adding the ujjayi texture. Giving a little pause in this shape to let the body adapt and just see how it feels. Of course, you're going to be noticing the parts that are particularly tight, but the whole right side is involved here. And then take a breath in and we'll pick the right arm back up again. And exhale and bring the hands together, sliding the heel of the right hand towards the fingers of the left. And then move through that 2 more times with your breath. Inhale, big sweep up. Exhale, releasing over to the right. Inhale, back up again. Maybe spread out your fingers. And exhale and slide the hands. 1 more of these. Inhale, big sweep, following your hand with your eyes. Exhaling over to the floor. Inhale, back up again. And exhale and slide the hands. Good. And then just bring your arms back into your body. Switch around to laying on your back. Take your blanket out from under your head. And just hug your knees. Rock a little bit on your back. Okay. So let's roll up to sitting up. Oops. Get my cord tucked in here. There we go. And we'll start with the legs straight out in front. Flex your feet. This is a little theme today, keeping the feet flexed. We're going to grab your right thigh and inner rotate it. So turn the inner thigh towards the floor and then plant the hip down. Okay, do the same thing on your left leg. Inner rotate, planting the hip, and you might feel your sit bones a little more on the mat. So keeping the legs quite straight. If you're straightening the legs and your heels are coming off the mat, try to keep the heels connected to the mat. So I tend to do that, hyperextend the knees, which is not good for the knees really. So keep the heels pressed into the mat. Weave the fingers together and push the heels of the hands out. Take an inhale and lift the heart, lifting the arms, maybe looking up at your hands. And then get everything working here. So your feet are flexed, your quads are working, pushing out with the heels. Keep looking at your hands and don't change the shape of your upper body. Just lean forward at the hips. So I'm still looking at my hands. My shoulders are into my back. And now my hamstrings are talking. Inhale, lift out a little. And exhale and lean in again. So not rounding your back. All about the back of the legs here. And then we'll let it go. Bring the upper body forward. This is now round your back. Let the head come down. The hands are on the mat. And the legs, though, are still flexed. The legs are still straight. Sorry, the feet are flexed. The legs are straight. And let your head come down towards your legs, whatever amount. And gently explore your neck, turning your head left and right. And just take a moment now to see where you're at. So take your hands down your legs. It might be touching your knees or your shins, or some of you might get to your feet. Not with judgment, just with curiosity. Take an in-breath and we'll come on up out of that intense stretch. And then I'm going to turn sideways on my mat. You can just have your mat straight ahead, but I want to turn to the camera. And we're going to rock, take the legs wide apart, come into straddle. And rock a little side to side. Bring your left hand over to your right leg and lean over, feeling the hamstrings. And then take your right hand over to your left leg. leaning in. So inhale to the middle, exhale, folding over one leg, reaching with the opposite arm. Inhale to the middle and exhale over to the left. Good. And then come on back up. We'll just bring the knees back together and come around onto your hands and knees. You can put a blanket under your knees if you've got any difficulty with your knees. And I'm going to angle the toes of my left foot off the mat. So I'm on my left, both knees, but my left foot is off on the mat onto the floor. Take your right foot straight back and open into a kneeling side plank. And reach up with your right arm. And then pick that right leg up so it's parallel to the floor. Okay, and feeling your strength. And left hand is really wide on the mat, so we've got a little bit of help with the balance with that left hand. And then we're going to bend your right knee, reach down with your right hand, and find your right leg. So we did this laying on our sides. Now we're doing this from a side plank. And just a little bit of pulsing. So I'm going to let the knee come forward and then pull the foot back towards the hip, pulling the shoulder blade into the back, playing with that. And again, feeling those opposites, that stretch into the front of the right leg and the hamstrings working in the back of the right leg. And then release and bring it down. We'll switch sides. So I'm turning the other way so I can see you. Pivoting on your right knee, take the right foot off the mat onto the floor. Take your left foot straight back from your knee and open up into a kneeling side plank. I want to make sure your right hand is really wide and it's directly underneath your shoulder. Give you a little bit of help with this. And then pick your left leg up, pushing out with the foot. So isometric contraction there. And then we'll bend that left knee, reach back and find it somewhere back there. Whatever amount. If you can't quite get to your leg, just continue to hold gate. You're still going to feel the work. And add that little bit of pulsing, pulling the knee back, letting the knee move forward, shoulder blade into your back. Good, and release. Bring the hand and the knee down. Lift up and back into downward facing dog. Putting the sides back together. And then walk your feet forward. We'll roll up to standing up. Okay, so let's come on up to the top of your mat. I'm going to keep working on this idea of strength on one side and flexibility on the other. So grounding into your feet again, lifting the toes, planting them down, maybe lifting the heels of your feet up off the mat, maybe lifting the balls of the feet up off the mat, just one at a time. Let's kind of wake up your feet because we're going to be doing some balance work. Ah. And then get everything connected into the mat with the feet. So the toes, the balls, the heels. Pick the shoulders up and back and down. Take an in-breath and lift up. Reach up. Exhale, forward fold. So Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, look ahead. Lengthen the shoulders back into your back. And then exhale, place the hands. Come on back into plank. Whatever version. From here, you can come to the mat with your knees or shift forward on your toes. Elbows in by your sides as you lower halfway down. And then open into upward dog and roll back into downward dog. Look to your hands. We'll step the right foot up to the top of the mat and bring yourself up into a high lunge. And weave the fingers together behind your back now and squeeze your back. Really open into the chest. Right knee is directly over the right ankle, so it's not ahead of the toes. And pushing back strongly with your left foot, feel some opening in your left quad. On your exhale, we'll fold over here, humble warrior, just looking down, pushing out with the hands. Inhale, look forward and lift it back up. And exhale, look down and forward bend over the right leg. Inhale, still squeezing your back, lifting back up. Lots going on. One more time. Exhale, folding. You can feel the hamstrings working on the right leg. Inhale, bring that back up. And release your hands, look back down into downward facing dog. An open window. Look ahead, step your left foot forward. Bring yourselves up again. Make sure your feet are hip width apart, that helps a lot. Weave the fingers together behind your back. So I've got my backs of my hands pushing out towards the back of the mat, shoulder blades into your back. And then exhale and forward bend over your left knee, taking the hands up towards the ceiling. Inhale, look forward and lift the heart. Exhale, rounding over, squeezing your back. Inhale, lifting up. One more time, exhaling over, very strong with that left leg. Inhale, bring it up. And release, bring the hands to the mat and come back into downward dog. And from here, we'll just keep moving. So look to your hands, step your right foot forward again. Bring yourself back up into Modified Warrior One. And just push the hands out in front now this time. So heels of the hands pushing away. Inhale and lifting up. And then just play with the depth of the lunge. So bend your right knee a little more and push back with the left heel. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, sinking down. So really feeling some opening in that left quad. Left thigh. And release, bring the hands to the mat and press back into downward dog. Left side looking forward, step the left foot up. Bring yourselves up. And just maybe toe heel or scooch that left or right foot back just a little further so you're really feeling the connection in the front of the thigh. And then weave the fingers together, push the heels of the hands up overhead. And just stay with the shoulders down in your back and do a bit of pulsing. Pushing strongly into that left heel. And pushing back strongly with your right heel. Good, release, bring the hands to the mat and press back into downward dog. Look to your hands, walk or hop your feet up to the top of the mat. We'll retrace our steps, so inhale halfway up, standing Dandasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. And release your arms down. Okay. So full disclosure, we're working towards two standing balance poses today that are opposites. Not a surprise, right? And they are extended leg pose and dancer pose. So one is opening into the front of the leg and the other is opening into the back of the leg. All right, so we're going to start with our strap. So find your strap again. And just make a big loop of it that's touching the mat and step into it with your right foot. Okay, so your right foot has got the ball of the foot on the strap. And then take both ends of the strap in your right hand and just find your balance here, standing on your left leg. Slowly start to fish that right leg up. Just walk your hands up the strap until you maybe get the leg about parallel to the floor. So this is extended leg pose. Okay, we can do it with the belt. We can also do it holding with our hand. We're going to progress our way towards that. So let's bring that back down. Set your strap aside, and then let's try it without the strap. If you still want to use the strap, of course you can. It's there to help us. But otherwise, get your left foot engaged into the mat and pick your right knee up as high as you can. And maybe even hug it in with your right hand. Keep the knee nice and high and reach inside and find your ankle, the arch of your foot, or your big toe. And then open that leg out. And you can reach your left arm out to the left. Keep your gaze up and your shoulders back, so not rounding forward. If you're holding onto your shin and that's it, that's fine too, okay? Whatever amount. Good, and then let it go. All right, so let's find the opposite pose, dancer. So it's what we've been doing, laying down on the mat in various shapes. I'm gonna bring that right ankle up towards your hip and then keep the knee pointing down. So I'm holding onto the leg bone with my hand. And then just slowly, when you're ready, start to open that hip. So I'm pulling my right knee back, tilting my upper body over just a little bit, whatever amount, so I don't hurt my back, and reach ahead with the left arm. Keeping your sense of humor. Really pushing the leg into the hand, and the hand is pushing back. And then release. And shake out that right leg. Shake out the left leg. So let's practice this progression on the other side. So take your belt again, step your left foot into it.
And we're going to balance on the right foot. So get the right foot active, toes really engaged. Okay. And then gaze forward. So help yourself by looking at a spot that's not moving and start to fish the left leg up. And just finding your center. It's unfortunate that I have this wall here. It's like a magnet. Don't use the wall. Find your center. Okay, let's release that and try it without the strap. So again, standing on your right foot. Maybe if I turn this way, I won't be tempted to use the wall. How about that? So we're going to pick your left knee up as close to you as you can. Give it a good squeeze, staying really tall. So don't be tempted to round over. And then wherever you can reach, grabbing your left leg, your arch, your big toe, extending forward. Finding your center. You can take the right arm out if that helps. And lifting the heart. Good work. Release and step down. Whatever amount. You know the most important thing about balance is to keep your sense of humor. Don't get upset if you have to step down and try again. Okay? And then let's do the dancer on the left. So again, soft gaze forward, finding a focal point. Right foot is active. You can pick your left knee up and grab the front of the ankle. And then point the knee down towards the mat. And then little bits at a time, come into your dancer, pushing back with the knee, reaching up with the right arm, having faith that you can find your center. Just keep little micro adjustments going on. And release. Ooh, and step down. Okay. One more little challenging balance. Let's see if we can do this, okay? And then we'll put this all together in a sequence. So just bring yourself down to the mat with your hands. Okay, and you can bend your knees if you need to. I'm going to come into half moon and add the Chapasana, the quad stretch. So take your left hand forward, so it's about a torso length ahead of your foot, and then move the left hand off to the left, right out to the side of the mat. And then take your right leg up in the air. Turn the right foot so it's pointing away. So we're opening the hip, bring the right hand to the right hip. Maybe turning your gaze to the right. Lifting the right arm up. And then bend your right knee. See if you can find your leg. Opening into the hip. So much work going on in that left leg. And a lovely opening in the right. Release. Take a step down. And shake it out. Okay, let's see how this side goes. So we'll build that again. So bend your knees. Take your hands down to the mat. Make your right hand as wide as you can. I've got the fingertips on the mat, not the base of the hand. And then move it so it's a torso length ahead and then right over to the right side of your mat. Okay? This creates a little tripod base for you. Take your left leg out and back and then turn the leg, turn the hip so the toes pointing away from you. Bring your left hand to your hip. So moving when you're ready. Maybe reaching up with the left arm. Keeping your sense of humor. And release. And take a step down. Feeling our strength. Feeling our flexibility. It's all good. So let's put this together in a flow. And so it's very simple. Extended leg, dancer, and then half moon with Shavasana. Whichever amount you can do in each of those three, just give it a shot. And we maybe go through this twice. I think we have time to do that. Okay, so let's start on the left foot again. So just grounding into both feet, but really getting that left foot connected to the mat. You can use your strap for the extended leg pose. I'm going to pick my right knee up, nice and high. You can use your strap when you're ready. Get a good grip on your leg or your foot and extend the leg ahead, reaching out with your left arm and keeping your shoulder blades into your back and your gaze forward. Maybe let go of the leg for a moment. Whew. And then release and come into dancer. So we're going to bring the right foot back, right knee pointing down to the mat initially, and then little bits at a time, start to lean forward and take the right knee back and reach your left arm up, opening into your right thigh. And then from here, you can keep holding onto your right leg, or you can build it again, but bring your hands down to the mat, left hand, a torso length ahead, and over to the left side of the mat, pushing out and back with your right leg, coming into half moon. Maybe bending the knee. Finding your ankle and opening into the hip. It's humbling. Let's release, take a step down, and bring yourselves back up. Wow. Okay, let's try this on the other side. Standing on your right leg, nice and tall. So find your mountain before we move forward. So shoulders into your back, both feet are grounded. And then take more weight onto your right foot. Pick your left knee up, draw it up either with a strap or using your hands. And then reach inside the leg, get a hold of something, your big toe. And just lengthening up. So very tall with the upper body. Try not to round your back, keep your gaze forward. Maybe let go of that leg for a second or two. And then release, bend the left knee, find the ankle. Thread the leg back behind you. And you know, if it helps, you can touch your fingers to the wall or a chair or something that's close by, just to give you a little more help with getting into this. Reaching up with the right arm. And then release. Take your hands down to the floor, the mat. Get your right hand in the right spot, torso length ahead, and over to the right side of the mat. Reach back with your left leg. Take your left hand to your hip. And then from here, coming into Chapasana, reaching back to find your left ankle. Thread the leg back. Just keep finding your center between your hand and your foot. And release, and take a step down. And just stay in a forward fold for a little bit here, letting the head hang, holding onto your legs if that feels better. Getting both feet on the mat. Nice work, everyone. Let's bring ourselves down to the mat now. Come on down and into downward facing dog. Paddle the legs. Swivel the hips around. And then come on down to your hands and knees. And let's take your left leg forward. And have your right leg bent, so your right knee is out to the right. If this is bothering anyone's knee, put a towel or a blanket under your knee. Okay. And then just walk yourself forward over your left leg, whatever amount. If it helps, you can use your belt to loop over the foot. Just feel the vibrations in your body now from that work. We've really stimulated a lot of things, including our nervous system. Maybe take both hands to the outside of your left leg and use the hands to encourage you to go a little closer. And then we'll breathe in and come on back up. Take your hands behind you on the mat or the floor. And then just little bit by little bit, start to come back down. Maybe coming down onto your elbows, maybe not, but really opening into that right thigh now. Some of you might be able to lay right down on your back. So if that's accessible to you, go ahead. If you're feeling any discomfort in the knee, back up a little bit. So whatever amount. And then bring yourselves back up. Take your right foot to the outside of your left leg. So the left leg is straight and the right foot, right knee is bent, your foot is on the outside of the leg. And then just hold on to your right knee with your left hand and turn to the left. Make a tent with your right hand, press the back of your right arm against your back like a kickstand, and just lengthen up as you deepen the twist on the exhale. Lengthen on the inhale. And then come on back out. Let's take both legs ahead again. And slide down over your legs, both legs. Round your back, let the head come down. Arms can rest on the mat. Turn your head a little left and right. And inhale and come on back up. We'll keep the right leg forward this time. Take your left knee to the left. If you're in here and it feels like you're falling right over, put something underneath your right hip. It can make all the difference to feeling a little safer in the pose and getting a little more out of it. Okay. And then start to walk down over your left leg. Again, little bits at a time. Really listening to the feedback from your leg, especially if there's something strongly pulling in the back of the knee, you need to back up a little bit. But if it's all in the calf and the hamstrings, that's kind of fair game. You just keep playing with that edge. And maybe get your hands on the outside of the right leg and just use the hands to get you a little closer to it. Moving in and out though, not locking into position. And then come on back up, and we'll see how it goes on this side, taking the hands behind you. Maybe come down onto your elbows. Always respecting your knees and respecting your lower back. I'm already feeling a huge stretch in this left quad, so I think this might be as far as I go. Well, I don't know, I'll try it. Oh yeah. And we'll bring ourselves back up. And bring that right or left leg forward. And so right leg is straight ahead. Put the left foot on the outside of your right thigh. And sit really tall. And you can hook the elbow against the thigh or just hold on to the knee with your right hand and turn into your twist, bracing your back with the side of your left arm. And just playing with the depth of the twist on your exhale, going a little deeper. On the inhale, unwinding and getting tall again. And then come on back out. And one more time, we'll take both legs forward, flexing your feet, rounding over, just going right into it. So letting your back get involved. So turning the head side to side, really feeling the sparkle up the back of the legs. And then let's stay here, but reach ahead now and see where you get to. So we've done an awful lot of work on flexibility in the back of the legs today. Just see if anything's changed, where you can get to. Not a competition, just checking in. And then slowly come on up out of that. Okay. I'm gonna lay down on our backs. You might want to use your blanket or your towel, but make a little roll with something. And we're going to put that underneath the back of our necks. So it could be part of a blanket just rolled up into a shape like this. And put that underneath the back of your neck. So we're not elevating the head, we're giving the neck a little bit of support. In the center of your mat, let's take the feet wide to the edges of the mat. So knees bent, feet touching the sides of the mat. And we'll do the knee sways, taking your knees over to the right, pressing the left knee away and lifting the left hip. Move with your breath. Inhale, come back up to the middle. And then exhale and pivot the legs to the left. Let's go through that 3 or 4 times. Pausing where you're feeling quite a bit of sensation and opening. Just kind of rocking on your feet. And then finish and bring your knees in. Come into that little ball again, hugging the knees, rocking on your back. One more little variation here. If you like, if you have another blanket, you can put that blanket underneath the small of your back, underneath your sacrum. I'm just going to give my hips a little bit of elevation. So blanket or towel roll under your neck, and then a little bit of support underneath the hips. And then take your legs wide and open the arms and shoulders again. Come into starfish again. And close your eyes and just let everything slow down. All the work that we've done in our practice today to create strength and flexibility. Giving our physical bodies and our mental and emotional bodies a time to kind of compile all of that and to integrate it. Being peaceful. Letting everything soften. So this is one of those shapes that looks like you've arrived when you first move into it, but then it changes and morphs as you give it time, as you breathe. Feeling some opening in the hips and the shoulders. And let's really ground ourselves to the earth here. We'll practice an extended exhale. I'll lead you through this. We'll maybe do it for 5 or 6 rounds. And so I'll add a count to the in and the out. We'll count to 4 as we breathe in, and we'll count to 8 as we breathe out. And you really need to stretch that exhale through the entire 8 counts, okay? So take a breath out. Inhale to 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more rounds. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. And just stay here in this peaceful place just a little longer. Tuning into the subtlety of your body. Noticing the state of your mind. And nurturing the heart. Little bit by little bit. Bring yourself back slowly. Maybe just deepening the breath at first. And then begin to move your hands and your feet. Stretch out your arms and legs. Maybe take the blanket out from under your hips and take the roll out from under your neck and just stay on your back for a little longer. Moving, stretching, reuniting. And then bring yourselves up to Sitting up. Thank you each for joining me in this practice today. I know there was a few challenging moments there for me, so I'm assuming they might have been challenging for some of you too. But that's good. We need to challenge ourselves now and then to stimulate things and to get stronger and more aware and more capable. And it builds our resilience as well as our physical ability. So thank you for sharing the practice with me. Namaste.